Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 24th. What I would tell Leo is to hang in there, number one. I know Leo has had a particularly hard time of it recently over the past couple of years, I'd say. Maybe a little bit longer. I mean, some of you have had great deals of challenges for like 8 years. Like I said, pretty much every sign has been an 8 year cycle. That for the past 8 years it has been very challenging, but maybe for the past few years, like some old challenges have sprung back up and things like that. I think in a lot of ways, a lot of Leos are kind of tired. They don't want to keep. It's almost like they don't want to keep going. As horrible as that sounds, but I would encourage you to. I mean, great things are coming for Leos. Leos are finally going to be reaching those things that they've been working for. I truly believe that. Over the next year, things are going to be so much different. I think the changes are going to start happening in like September, October, right away. But I think if you look back in a year from now, looking back at your whole life for a lot of you, things will be a much better place, much different. But I would say just keep going, Leo. I mean, keep going. I know it's hard, but definitely it's like kind of like keep your head down and keep going. But you have extreme positivity this week, so just know that. You have the Ace of Diamonds showing up first, which, really, a lot of people read this as, and I do too. I mean, frequently read this as windfall money, huge amounts of money coming in. And I do think some of you Leos out there probably have had some decent financial, weeks over the past few weeks, depending on your chart. I think most of the true Leos, if you're like a true Leo with Leo through and through your chart, you've probably had a better money time of it recently. Some of you, that's not always true. But if that's not true, for you, then this can represent new money coming in. Aces are all about new. They bring in change and new stuff. You can think of an ace as a zero, really, and it's like kind of like your start. You're getting started off fresh, but with a lot of positive energy. The ace brings a lot of positivity and a lot of positive energy to your life. So, particularly when it comes to work and finance, the Ace of Diamonds brings kind of that renewal. I would expect that, and it's one of those things. I don't think it's necessarily. I think for some of you it'll happen this week, but this is an energy that kind of sticks around. So it's something that kind of comes through at different points, and I think it'll stick with you for the next year. Actually, the Ace of Diamonds will, and you'll start to see it work in your life. The next card you have is a Three of Diamonds, which asks you to look at, different ways of doing things, not to be so set in your ways, and to maybe even go as extreme as changing some of your behaviors, which is very hard for anybody to do, not just Leo. I mean, a lot of people, I heard somebody talking about Leo once, and they were saying how, Leos, it can be very hard for them to change their behavior and change the way they are, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think if you try to do it, you will. But this is a card of great creativity as well. It's a card of being creative and creating new things in your life, even creating a new life, deciding you want to be different, deciding you want to be a certain way. And it's funny. I mean, as I go through these readings, it's funny because I just think of the astrology. It's all about deciding right now. Pretty much, the astrology is all about deciding what you really want. Like, what do you really want your life to look like? So, I would encourage you to, think about that, especially with this card. This card, it's a card of multiple paths. So it's like saying you have multiple ways you could go. There is no right answer, but it boils down to your values and what is important to you. So really, it's all about, if you're confused on what way to go, what path to choose, it's a card of sitting down and thinking, like, what is important to me, and then you should have a path that looks the most important, that really resonates with you, and that is the right answer every single time. And it should scare you a little bit as well. That is a fear card. You have another fear card coming up, Seven of Hearts, which is all about facing things that fear you. It is a love card, I will say that. It is a card of feeling like a little bit left out in love. A lot of you might be feeling a little bit left out in love. Even if you're in a relationship, you might be feeling a little lack of love. I'm telling you, September, whole nother story. So just know that the energy will pass very quickly. But again, I would pick a path. The path thing's coming up for a lot of you right now. So I'm going to talk about it for a quick second and just say that you should be a little nervous and maybe even a little frightened to fully commit to that path. It should scare you. And that's how you know it's the right thing to do. So just know that. But this card, it might have you feeling a little bit of lack of love this week. I always tell people when they get this card, if you're in a relationship, just know that all you have to do is ask. So if you need some nurturing from your partner, of course, Leo needs to be nurtured, absolutely. You know, Leo is a very nurturing sign. I've said this before, maybe even last week I think I said it, or the week before. And, you know, Leo needs nurturing. They need to be nurtured as well. They need to nurture, and they need the reciprocal thing. So, you know, I always tell people, and this comes up in a relationship reading, for example, Seven of Hearts, if you are in a relationship, all you have to do is simply ask your partner and just simply tell them that you need love. It's literally that simple, that you need time with them, you want to spend time with them, and they will, because sevens always end positively. Sevens want to be eights. And what does that mean? Well, it means it's very easy to become that 8, which is a very positive card. 8 of Hearts is extremely positive. It represents that perfect exchange of energy between two people. And, you know, or just an exchange. It's an infinity when two people are together and they're really kind of vibing on each other. So all you have to do is ask your partner, because they're actually the one that's here. You're the one that's missing. So definitely something to think about. For those of you that are single, again, unfortunately, it does mean, you know, just feeling a little bit of lack of love, but it will pass very quickly. You end the week with the King of Diamonds. Excellent card to have, great card, brings in a lot of success, which I think business job-wise, Leos will be seeing a lot of success this week. However, what this card does is it does something that Leos can do, which is react too quickly. This guy, like I say, they call this card the CEO, but he reacts. He's just like react to every situation that comes across his desk, and even in his personal life, he just reacts, very reactive, very quick. That's one reason why he's so successful, is because he can move so quickly. So just know that you'll be able to do that this week, but it also can be his downfall. Because he doesn't think about things properly right away, and, you know, he really needs to kind of focus and really take a few seconds before he just reacts on things. So that's what the card asks you to do. It does say you're going to be successful, success is here, but just don't react too quickly, and just to make sure that some of those things don't happen. So overall, amazing week, enjoy it, and thank you for watching this video.